Welcome to what I hope will be a quick look at the Sanrenmu Model 733 folding knife. A quick shout out right at the start of this video to the Dishy, there you go mate. Dish turned me on to this knife when I saw his video where he featured a few of these which he picked up from the EDC depot in the States, and he also turned me on the EDC depot, which turned out to be a great tip as well, so thanks for both of those things Dishy. Mark, who runs EDC depot, big shout out to him, excellent guy, good communications, the service was excellent, so thanks for that too. Back to the knife. Sanrenmu, I'd never heard of them, Chinese manufacturer. Dishy was saying that apparently they do a lot of work for some of the other companies in the States. Spyderco, it would seem they may be the company that does some of those Spyderco imports, certainly using the same steel, so that's possible, I'm not sure. But anyway, if you want to look at Sanrenmu, this little box, the only reason I got the box here is to bring up and show you this. That is the website, sanrenmu.com. They make a huge range of knives. They've got a lot of folders, different types. They've got a few fixed blades, and if you're into kitchen knives, ceramic bladed kitchen knives. So they seem to do a little bit of everything. Apparently they've been in business for quite some time. So I'll have a quick look at this knife. I'm going to try and make this a really quick review, so I'm going to blast through this hopefully, but I don't promise anything because I do tend to waffle on when it comes to knives. Okay, as I said, this is the Model 733. It is a frame lock knife. It's the first frame lock I've ever bought. It's one of the reasons I bought it. Actually, I was curious about frame locks, so you can see the locking mechanism there. Most people are familiar with frame locks, so I won't go too much into it. So, just a bit of detail of the knife. You can see it's cut out there to allow that flexibility, and then when you open the knife up, down she goes and locks in there. It's primarily, I guess, an EDC knife. It's we'll talk about the specifics of it. It's the blade steel is 8CR13 MOV, which, as I mentioned, is the same sort of steel that's used in things like the Spyderco Tenacious and the Tenacious family of knives. That's a steel that's certainly getting better known, and it's not a bad steel at all. This particular one is hollow ground, and the blade shape, well, I don't know how to describe the blade shape. Is it a clip point? Is it a bowie? Whatever it is, it's really interesting. I think quite a nice looking blade shape. Not my normal style, but when I saw this on Dishy's channel, I was just intrigued by it, so I picked one up. The blade length on this one is 2.25 inches or 64 millimeters. The length of the knife overall, when it's opened, is 6.46 inches, 164 mil. Closed length comes down to 3.84, 97.5 millimeters in the metric system. As you can see, there is no clip on this particular knife, no pocket clip. It has this carabiner mounted on the back. That's good for me because that is by default an ambidextrous carry system. You could simply just slip it in your pocket, just like an old style pocket knife if you wish to. You could clip it onto a belt loop or jeans loop or whatever you have. You could put it onto a pack, clip it onto a D-ring, maybe on the webbing on your pack. There's a lot of really good carry options for this thing. It weighs very little, 3.1 ounces or 88 grams, so it's a very light knife. All steel construction. As you can see, there's no sort of scars being bolted on the side. Most times I wouldn't like that, but this actually, I don't mind. It's a really good looking knife. You won't believe the price when we get to that, but anyway, let's talk deployment. There's two ways you can deploy this knife, well, in theory. One is, of course, you've got the finger hole there, so of course we just open it as we would standard. But if we just close it again, you'll see up here, there's this little flipper. Now, unlike, I don't have any flipper knives either, but normally from what I've seen they open pretty quick. This one tends not to. It won't open all the way. It comes out to about there. It may loosen up more with more use. This is quite a new knife. You can flick it out a little bit further, or I suppose what you could do is you could flick it there and then finish it with that. But as an EDC blade for general purpose use around work or home, just opening boxes, nothing wrong with just opening it that way. Now that little flipper part there, let's grab another knife as a pointer, that goes down and becomes this section of the knife here, so it makes this finger choil in the back here, which is really nicely radius and quite a neat thing. There's jimping in that area. I'll try and get that to show up. That's your lock there. Now the lock sits a little bit proud of the other side of the knife, which is good. When you grip frame lock knives, basically they really can't let go, because for them to do that you have to release your grip. As soon as you've got your finger wrapped around there, the frame lock's basically more stable the tighter you grip the handle. It's also got a bit of jimping, as you can see up there on the back of the blade. And I have to say, It's much more comfortable than I thought it would be. It's a small handle, of course, but it's really very, very nice. It's narrow, the metal feel doesn't bother me. I thought that would. I've been pleasantly surprised with this knife. It locks up really, really nice and tight, and again, for the price I paid for it, still haven't told you. Okay, so we'll just have a little bit of a more detailed look over this knife, just in closing. I've been very impressed with the fit and finish, the look of the knife, the overall quality, very, very high. Now, I've teased you a couple of times on the price of this thing, so I won't tease you any longer. This cost the princely sum of $8.99 at EDC Depot, which is extraordinarily cheap. And it's not a cheap feeling knife. It actually feels like a nice, well-built quality knife. It is priced well below what you would expect for something like this. If this is a sign of the times of the sort of knives that Sanrenmu is going to produce into the future, they might well be a company to watch. And that little logo that we see there on the blade, we might be seeing an awful lot more of that in the future. That is good and bad, I suppose. That might affect some of the other knife companies, but for people who are perhaps on a budget, or people who they don't really mind where the knives come from, they just want to be able to buy a few more knives to add to their collection, could be a good thing. That's about all I've got to say on this knife. So, great value, excellent little EDC blade, and for the money, why wouldn't you buy one and just give it a try? Thanks for watching. Best wishes everyone. See you later.